Hey guys, what's going on and welcome back to York City, where finances have been massively important in this January transfer window because something rather major has finally happened. And that's the transfer of Ben Godfrey to Everton for about 25 million up front and then a little bit more over time, and of which we get 10% of that transfer, which means we got about 2.5 million straight off the bat and there's another 400,000 to come. So you may notice this doesn't say 2.5 million profit this season. There's a reason for that. See you after the intro. So the reason for the lack of the full amount of profit there is because we've spent £700,000 in the transfer window, £500,000 of which was on Tony Ebersbach, who I do pronounce every single time in my head in the tune to the Backstreet Boys song. Ebersbach, all right, yes he is, because those physicals are great, those mentals are on the good side, those technicals are very much on the good side. He's regarded as 3.5 stars, which is less than Lee Tao. Those are Lee Tao stats. I don't really understand why he's regarded better. I think some of the physicals are marginally better, but everything else, for the most part, is worse than Ebersbach. His mentals overall are better. I think decisions was less, but basically every other stat is better than Lee Tao's. So I don't really know why he's regarded worse than him. That being said, he does have a fairly strong right foot. I will be training him to do inside forward on the left-hand side as well. Because if you have a player who is first team quality to step into either left or right, that's unprecedented for this team. Also importantly, he is left-footed on the right-hand side, which is a rarity. His potential is brilliant. Premier Division, apparently. Not passing that one up if I can. He was from Dynamo Dresden, the same place as Feistelmel. I did see him when we acquired Feistelmel. We just couldn't afford him then. We can afford him now, and I think, if I'm completely honest, whilst it does seem like a lot of money, particularly for a team in League 2, or a left-footed player for right-hand sided attack, for the inside forward role that we play, that has the potential to become Premier Division in the future, has a over 6 million release fee, I think what we paid is actually really quite good. Because inside forwards, there's plenty of wingers out there that can do attacking midfielder left or right, but not that many young inside forwards. So I think what we've done here is actually really quite good. And like I say, if I can train him to do inside forward on the other side as well, then we've got a sensational player that can play anywhere basically across that front line in time. In fact, I might even be using him as an inside forward on that left-hand side, because if Gini continues to not really play that well, because frankly, Lee Tao has been brilliant this year, I don't really want to be dropping him from my team. £200,000 has been spent on Shepard Uncube, which I will pronounce like that every single time. And yes, it does sound like a Detective Giro. I do realise that. Physicals, fantastic. Mentals, fantastic. The defensive ones could do with being better, and the technical ones could do obviously doing being better. But he is 18. He does have room to develop. The defensive situation at the end of the year is a bit problematic, because at the end of the year we will only have Tavares, Okoye, and Uncube, because everyone else on this either isn't first position as centre back. Feistelmel was left back, Rishi Dean, of course, defensive midfielder. Manquar is here on loan. Boom and Romano contracts run out at the end of the year. Boom doesn't want a new one. Romano's demands are too high for a backup, in my opinion. They're too high as they are for a backup, in my opinion. Much as I love Romano, if he lowers his demands, I will keep him around. Boom just has no interest. So we can maybe try and get him out on loan for the rest of the year, because we have plenty of central defenders for this year. If we can get him out on loan for the rest of the year, get him a little bit of development, that'd be great. If we don't, that's a little annoying. He is preferred foot left, which is a rarity. Part of the reason why I drew him in. We have paid basically twice his value, but that's all we're paying, nothing extra. So I think for an English centre-back with a left foot, personality-driven, 18 determination, he should realise his potential. I think we've done a good deal here, really. And the last of the transfers that you've not already seen for this particular window is Luka Ilic, who is just very good in most areas. He's not brilliant in any area. Some of those mentals are on the higher side, but he's not brilliant in any area. He's just very good in basically every stat, which I quite like. He's also pretty good in basically every position, which you also like. He can do attacking middle for the left, centre, striker, right. Most importantly, he does advanced playmaker in the centre of the field where Callum Lascelles plays. He has a very strong left foot. And don't forget, we do play our attacking playmaker on the left-hand side of that central triangle. So he steps quite in perfectly there, really. He is behind Lascelles in that particular space. But having a player like this who can play basically everywhere in that, his Mazzala's not quite as good. I will admit that. But He can also go do inside forward on the left-hand side if we need him to. Like we say, Genie, the problem with Genie has been very much highlighted this year. He should have been brilliant. He's not been brilliant so far. So you may have to step into that inside forward role on the left-hand side at times, but attacking playmaker is where we're going to be putting him mostly. And if we ever switch to a 4-2-3-1 with an attacking midfielder centre, he can do that quite nicely as well, along with DK and Ebersbach, of course. So, yeah, he's just pretty decent in most, basically every stat, without being sensational in any of them. Very much the ultimate utility man. And that brings you up to speed on the transfer business we did in January. Scunthorpe and Carlisle on the horizon. Two teams not doing particularly well, so hopefully we'll see some good performances here, or some frustrating ones. Speaking of frustrating ones, it was a very tight January all told. Burton 2-1 away from home though, decent result I suppose. They got a late consolation goal. Morgan and Lee Tow on that particular one. We've returned to the 2-1 losses to Bristol Rovers though, despite the fact we finally got past them earlier this season. 2-1 loss. They scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. It's I don't understand. I don't understand that one. It went weird. We just didn't perform on that one, and I don't really know why. We had a couple of postponed games. Bristol Rovers was one of those that was meant to be before Burton. It got shoved later. The other one was Port Vale, I believe, which just got shoved into February. Man City under 23s, we got past just about again another late consolation goal in that one. And Manquar took a big old injury, which was part of the reason why I started looking for another centre back actually. But Dan Morgan got 2 in that one, and then missed a penalty. So mixed game from him. Wickham 1-0. Wickham are in the relegation spots at this point in the season. Took us 91 minutes to get a goal there. Lee Tow though. And Lee Tow again. Actually, Lee Tow's had a fantastic January in terms of goal scoring. The sell on that one. 2 goals early on. They got 1 back. But really, that one is a better result than it looks like. Considering a lot of narrow wins here, this one is probably the best of them all because Bradford are second. Or were second, I should say. Nope, they still are. We have 3 games in hand on everyone in this chasing pack. And we're 4 points clear. I don't really know how that's happened. But we do. So we've got a fair amount of wiggle room at this point. And of course, the most important thing actually in League 2 is being ahead of 4th place, which is Cheltenham. So it does make that loss to Cheltenham look slightly less bad. They are a promoted team. They're pulling an us right now. It's really weird how every year there's like one team that gets promoted does really well, us last year, and one team doesn't. Because Dagenham Redbridge, of course, promoted along with Cheltenham, opposite ends of the table, much like us and Halifax were last year. Halifax doing slightly better this time round. Not much better, but slightly. Now, we still are going to try and squeeze in 2 games. It might end up being a slightly longer episode on this particular Monday. But right now, we do have Romano and Tavares in the centre. Clark is back for right back. One thing to mention. Xiaonan, or Nanxiao, I think is meant to be put in that order. I do apologise to any Chinese speakers or Chinese people. I have probably been saying that the wrong way around, I do realise, because they do put their names in the opposite order. But Ebersbach does definitely need to be on that particular bench now. Or do I just stick him right in? I might just stick him in there and see how he does. So yeah, I'm going to try and train him in that inside form. We've had a bit of luck in training the young player in obviously Xiao on this fullback right-hand side. So if we maybe do that with Ebersbach on this side, he is technically, like, he doesn't even have any stars for this right now. But we're going to try it because Genie, let's be honest, has not been what we've been hoping for this year. He should be. Last 5 games he's been pretty good, though, is the issue we have here. But Scunthorpe and Carlisle are both in the lower reaches of this table. So if we're going to try it, we'll try it now. And in fact, Gonsalves hasn't had really good luck recently. So I think we'll put Genie on the bench. Ebersbach will start. It's a weird thing to do, but we'll try it. Midfield will be as we expect. Dean, Nacelle and Geir Kazambia. Did actually say it there. Sort of, I think. DK. Feistamel and Clark in the fullbacks. Forgot about those. Sorry, Smith in goal, of course. Ebersbach and Littell up there. And Morgan up front. 26 goals for the season now for him. It has been sensational, really. As a reminder, he does have 8 finishing. We also don't have any numbers, so we have to give them stupid ones. He's going to be 42 because that's the answer to everything. But if I can get a player who can do inside forward on both sides, I think that's obviously the best thing for our team going forward. Now, I can't remember, but I feel like we've played Scunthorpe recently. I definitely feel like we played Scunthorpe at some point this year because I remember them playing in the green somewhat recently. And they go close with a free kick. But I feel like Smith has sort of lassoed into his hands there a little bit. This highlight continues from that free kick, though. It did seem like a particularly tame one. I'm not sure if we see every free kick or just important ones, but Lee Tow now charges forward. It's kind of weird seeing a very high number on the pitch in 42 over there. Morgan goes close. Oh, I think we drew them in the EFL knockout rounds, didn't we? That's what we did, didn't we? Colclough, Bootroyd. They go close. But I have to say, Cheltenham, a remarkable season. Bolton have recovered actually from a very poor start. They're still in financial difficulty and they're actually not predicted to be the highest of the relegated sides. So they actually are doing quite well considering. Malcolm, though, dispossessed once. They still got the ball, though. This has sort of ricocheted into a few of their players, kind of annoyingly. We are forcing them backwards, but I don't think they're going to make a mistake. Clark is just going to head it to them, of course, because fullbacks never head it to your own team. And Street couldn't really miss. That's frustrating. And it's all happened because fullbacks cannot head to their own team. Like, what? What were you thinking was going to happen there? What were you thinking was going to happen there? Head inwards? Head outwards? Head backwards? Head any other way than there's a player of the opposing side. But no, head it straight to the opposing side. We're going to see this with offside lines, despite the fact he's clearly onside. I would love to say this is down to the fact he has poor heading and less than average decision making, but we all see it with teams at every single level of the football pyramid. So at this level, we can put it down to poor stats. At higher levels, it's just unexcusable. Inexcusable? Inexcusable. We've got a corner though, and this highlight started with a corner, so something's going to happen here. Tavares has scored. That's what's going to happen here. Thank you for that. Equaliser. It's a fairly even game, statistically, so we can't be too mad at the fact it's 1-1 at this stage. But it's a nice delivery, and Tavares, it just lands at the feet of. No one really in the middle of that box there to deal with that. Immediate highlight. Now, I do wonder if the fact that there's nobody in the middle of that box at that corner was due to the fact we pulled one of them out for the short free kick, a short corner. I do mention this quite often, and I think there's a point that does need to be made. Short corners, I feel like, are slightly... As they say, slightly overpowered. Litau goes close immediately from the kickoff. Nice. As they slightly overpowered, I think they do quite well. And there is another corner. It's gone to Ebersbach in the middle and nicely held in the end. DK whips this one in. Morgan's there. Vickers. Former Lincoln, I'm pretty certain. So the fact he's gone to Scunthorpe is bold. I mean, I know Scunthorpe Lincoln isn't necessarily quite as sort of hotly rivaled as, say, Liverpool or Manchester derbies or what have you, but Lincoln Boston, obviously, slightly more. Lincoln Grimsby is slightly more heinous. Let's say Lincoln Scunthorpe. I mean, he's just given it straight to DK there, which is a bold choice on his part. What's happened here? Oh, well, It's the 27th goal for Dan Morgan. Not really one of his own making, but it's his 27th goal. DK just charges past their defence. Quite like that. What happens here? He does get tackled, and then Morgan tackles their defender and does actually kick it in. It's not a tackle goal, but it's a tackle that led to a goal in their box, which is a bit silly. Are there any other... I'm not even sure if any other games are happening right now, because we currently are... Well, none of the other teams behind us have seemed to be getting any points, so I think we're playing by ourselves on this particular day. Ebersbach charges forward, going forward here. Not great on the old crossing front, but he's managed that one and lashed in by Litau. Good lord. 8th goal of the season, and frankly, I think it's his 5th one of this calendar year. He's been great on the old chance and assist front up till this point, but January onwards, he's just been banging them in. Onyango heads it outwards. DK's... I mean, the ball... I don't think the ball hits the ground after their headed clearance. I think DK's assist was, strictly speaking, a volley as well. That, brilliant. Keep it... I don't know what I said there. I'm not happy. One player's demotivated. I've accidentally said I'm not happy, and then everyone's actually okay with that. Says a lot about our team that we're winning 3-1 and people are still fired up by me saying I'm not happy. By accident. I've turned everything around, obviously backing it up, but we've all come off attacking the second half. There's no need to be super aggressive. We've got the... Well, it's 4-1 and Ebersbach scored on his debut on the wrong side of the pitch, so he's done alright. And actually, I've just realised playing Ebersbach on that left-hand side means we do have a full Dynamo Dresden left-hand side of the field with Feistammer behind him. I've reunited the former teammates on that left-hand side. It's not great from Vickers. He looks like he tries to head the ball. But at the very least, whilst Ebersbach is learning English, it does mean he does have a German player directly behind him on the pitch to help him out. And a former teammate. So he's got the support with him now. So maybe it is sensible to play him as an inside forward. Like, no one's super tired at the 73-minute point of this game, but we do have a lot of games in February, mostly due to postponements. But we do have a lot of games in February, so really kind of need to keep everyone as fresh as possible. Now, right back's obviously an issue because Shao is still on international duty. I think that's what I started that line. I thought earlier on, and I forgot to finish it. The Asia Cup happened before Shao got back off international duty, so he's actually been away for a month and a half. And actually, say he's not back until the middle of this month, so that's a little bit annoying at this stage. I think what we're going to do at 4-1, we're just going to keep some of our better players fresh. So Nasel's off, Illich is going to come on there. I think actually we're going to take Feistamel off, even though he is having a good one. Get Morgan Boy some game time as well. He's not particularly match sharp either. He does, of course, remove Ebersbach's German support behind him, but for 15 minutes, I think he'll cope. Smith has gathered this ball. This was a highlight I interrupted, actually, so we will pay attention to this as if it's going to lead to something, rather than just obviously we've made a change situation. Kolkloff in all the space. He's missed. Their average rating is 6.4. It's not great on their front. We're actually going to bring Smallwood on at right back. It's not. I mean, I could put Dean there as well. Both of them could do it, but Clark was getting a little bit tired, so I figured get him a bit of a rest. Why not? Dean probably should be better at right back because he's obviously got a little bit more pace than Smallwood, who's in his later years. Tavares has only scored twice. Has he scored twice? Who's put that one in? It's gone as an own goal for the goalkeeper. Tavares was the one there, but it doesn't go down as his goal. And it's 5-1. Tavares managed to head the... It's not great. It's not great from Vickers there. Bartley's on a 4.6. Hang on, what did he end up on? 4.6? I've never seen a rating that low. I still believe the two sides are very similar, and this loss will hurt Scunthorpe. Gary Coleshaw, clearly not paying attention to the league table. Very good performance. Don't let it go to your heads. Yeah, we basically have to play every 3... I mean, look at this. There's 4 games on this one stretch of ticker tape here. What is going on with our scheduling? We have played by ourselves. That's one of the games in hand we had. It does mean I have to rest my lads basically after every match this entire month. I didn't think this one was going to come active until the summer. Isidoro Medina has turned 18 on the 2nd of February, basically 2 days after the transfer window shut. I thought he was going to go through in the summer, this one. He's here now. He is apparently 6th choice centre-back. Isidoro Medina. 4 caps for Panama already. 13 tackling. Determination just slightly on the lower side, but potential to be championship in the future. He's on £275 a week. Very strong right foot. Can play left and right back, just like actually Uncube do as well. So getting these central defenders in who can do the full-back positions if necessary, quite useful. But again, similar situation. Vanderarme level as things stand. Hopefully get some loan dealings before this year ends out, and we can develop him up a little bit. He's number 4 next year. So we do still have 4 for next year, no matter what happens. This is ridiculous, by the way. Grimsby, Halifax, Port Vale, 3 matches in 5 days. I mean, it's 4 matches in 7. 8, I suppose. 4 matches in 8 days is absolutely insane. But first of which, Carlisle, who are at the absolute foot of the table. Everyone's still nice and fit for this, so I really feel no need to change absolutely anything here. Really, I could possibly play some other central defenders here, some of the ones that need a little bit more time and development space. But keep the good run going, as always. And away we go. So, Carlisle not had the best... I mean, we did demolish them 6-0 last time we faced them. This is a day where everyone's playing, so there's no catch-up games here. This is an actual Saturday of football. Reading, back to Mellish. Yeah, Mellish. Sorry, it's just a lot of straight line letters in a row there. Clark, couldn't quite work it out. Lee Tao, charge bash number 5, and he's probably going to have a crack himself. Not quite, but positive start for us. Cheltenham make the top 3. Cheltenham trying to make back-to-back promotions here. Lee Tao's taken a knock, but he's not taken like a proper injury. Tavares is there. He's nearly scored again. Dean's nearly smacked it in. It says Lee Tao's exhausted, but that's just because he's recovering from that injury during this highlight. Another corner. I suspect this one's now nothing because it came from an existing highlight. Dean's taken over the ball, and Morgan might get on the end of this. He doesn't. Lee Tao's recovery to condition-wise isn't actually happening. We might... now... Oh, don't... I was about to move Ebbers back across. He's got a gashed lower leg, has Ebbers back. We might have to change both wingers, but I don't have... Oh, I have Illich, and now they've scored. Literally their first shot on target. Why can we just not defend set pieces? Goalie flaps, misses the header. Right, we've got an immediate chance, basically. It's not from the kickoff, but they have gone very attacking. And then, I mean, they're not very attacking in terms of their mentality, apparently, but they had 2-on-2 at the back there, despite the fact the ball was in their end of the pitch. What is happening here? Clark, inwards. He's going to get on the end of this, and that's probably going to... No. Okay, Smith's got up to that one. Tavares clears. Problem solved. For now. Aggressive. Are we about to lose to the bottom of the table because that's how this game works? We are going to have to remove both wingers, and I don't really know how to manage that. I mean, Illich can do the right-hand side. Illich is left-footed, so he is actually technically better on the right-hand side as an inside forward. It's a little bit annoying I've had to do that, but never mind. Especially with 3 games in 5 days coming up, I do need my wingers as they go close again. Jesus, can we do actually anything in this match? We destroyed them 6-0. I mean, they went down to 10 men. But we destroyed them 6-0. In fact, I think all the previous meetings against Carlisle have been massive wins. Dan Morgan's on a 6.3. DK's on a 6.3. Clark's on a 6.4. What is going on in this match? Right, corner. I think this has basically started with it. Tavares is there. It's, well, lucky is what it is. Tavares has smacked it against the defender and it's gone in again. Tavares claims it. I don't know how, why, but he's just kicked it out of the defender and it's gone in. I think it was missing. Oh, now they've got corners, so this will be 2-1 to them, I imagine. So close. I mean, Lopez. Can we do something at all? No. No, we can't. Oh, God. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. It's taking forever to take the damn free kick. Don't you dare. Goal kick. So bottom draws with top. I would say see you all in training, but we all know we can't really do that right now. What a time to only have one proper right back, by the way. Gotta say, though, anyone who was going to... I mean, unless you went to Scunthorpe game, didn't really get your money's worth. 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 0-0, 0-0, 1-0, 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, 1-all. I mean, 1-all, second highest goal scoring game of the day. I mean, we've been sort of let off there a little bit in terms of the fact that everyone else drew in the league, so we're still 7 points clear with 2 games in hand. Carlisle, by the way, 9 points from safety. How long's he out for? 3 weeks. Ah, welcome, Ebersbach. Goodbye, Ebersbach. Still on 8.0 despite having 0 goals, 0 assists. We are into the quarterfinals of the EFL Trophy and we have drawn Halifax, of course, our local rivals in this division. Part of me wants me to bring you that game. But we have just recently played Port Vale, I think, on an episode, so we probably won't. It's kind of fortunate that we've kind of already drawn Halifax this year already in terms of episodes, so we will look a little bit further on for 2 teams we haven't actually played yet, and I think Northampton and Accrington fill that particular. At the very least, Accrington and Stevenage do. I'm pretty certain on that front. I think there's a whole string of games here of teams that we haven't seen in episodes this year so far. So yeah, we'll play through the rest of February, bring you back for March. Simple as that. Until then, ta-ra.